Introduction. The center topic of my dissertation is how graphic designers persuade through advertising. The core research will be on semiotics, both key terminologies, and how to analyze using the terminology. After completing this, I should have the required knowledge to create my own ads using this method in reverse, creating ads based on elements. The main task I will be building up to is the deconstruction of the Club 18 to 30 ad. By the end of the dissertation, I will be able to analyze and create my own successful advertisement competently. I will get to this final stage by developing my knowledge in persuasion techniques as well as semiotics. This will be of great use to me in the future if I choose to go down the advertising or branding path. The motivation behind my work comes from the design background in which I was brought up in. My mother studied interior design and fashion, so I was brought up from a young age seeing the process of designing and became intrigued by the creativeness involved. You can really put your own individual flair into your work, whereas interior design is more specific based. As a teenager, my chosen A-levels were graphic design, product design, and textiles, a very creative path indeed. Since then I have stayed up to date with the new software releases from Adobe, and constantly active trying to advance my graphic design skills. I have always found advertisements interesting, and often ended up buying things I wouldn't have bought if I hadn't had seen the ad. With this idea in mind, there is no surprise I decided to investigate it further. Persuasion is something which has been underestimated for a long time in the design field. I believe it is one of the most important, if not the most important aspect, as we design for the needs of others. And to attract people, persuasion is the tool in which draws people in. For this reason I have chosen to explore it.
The structure of my dissertation will be simple, clear and easy to follow. I want the dissertation to have a beginning, middle and end. With this in mind, the building up process in which I will learn and then put the knowledge in action will be most effective. The first chapter I will further explain my reasons for exploring the chosen topic as well as outline my goals, additional questions and research needed. The second chapter will be focused on semiotics. I will look into the background of it, what the key terminologies are and also the key theories and texts. Chapter 2 will help me complete my analysis in Chapter 3 as I will need to use the terminology of semiotics within it. The final chapter, Chapter 3, will be what the dissertation has been building up to, the deconstruction of the Club 18 to 30 advertisement. The key text I will look at in Chapter 2 is by Roland Barthes. This is a well-known analysis throughout the semiotic field. I will not explain the text as I believe it is unnecessary for my dissertation, but I will study it and use it to guide me. I will read the book Persuasion in Advertising and Elements of Semiology to gain deeper insight on my subject matters. I will assign myself a weekly timetable and set myself goals to reach each week. This will help to keep me on track and give me guidance. Reaching weekly goals will assure I complete the dissertation in time. My object is to finish 2 weeks in advance so I have time to review my text and add if necessary or make any changes. I will also have time to get my text proofread by a few people to avoid error in language and punctuation.
Chapter 1. Why does it matter to me? Large companies spend massive amounts of money on state-of-the-art advertising in hope to gain more business. I have chosen to explore the way designers persuade people to do or buy something with advertising. My main focus will be an advertising campaign designed by Saatchi and Saatchi in 1995 for a brand called Club 18-30. Can designer sell a lifestyle or belief? What are they trying to say? How are they saying it, and what lifestyle do they portray? How an image makes you feel, how words can persuade your thoughts, and importantly, how we can deconstruct advertisements with semiotics. My aim is to understand how designers persuade consumers. I will do this by decoding an image, finding its meaning and understanding how it was put together. I will briefly look into the history and key terminology of semiotics. I will also investigate how to semiotically analyze an advertisement and look into key texts within semiotics. The motivation for my research stems from the enthusiasm I have for design, along with understanding how people can be persuaded into doing something. As a designer who will be working in the industry within the next few years, I think this is one of the most, if not the most important, aspects of design I will need to know, especially if I'm working within the field of advertising. How looking at a logo, image or watching a video can persuade you to want something fascinates me. What colors and shapes may represent and how they may influence feelings and evoke emotions. Lyndon Leader designed the FedEx logo with a hidden arrow between the E and X, or like the KFC snacker commercial where the last image that appears is a burger with a dollar hidden within the letters. This creativeness inspires me and intrigues me to look into design more thoroughly. How designers can feed your brain without you being aware, and how compelling semiotics really is.
As a graphic designer, I know that I need to be technically skillful and always aware of new technology and techniques being used within my industry. I must learn how to get into the minds of people. The best way to persuade someone to do or buy something is to put the idea in the head, so they believe what they are doing is down to their own decision when in actual fact they have been persuaded by the designer. I shouldn't have a problem in understanding this, because many things I have purchased myself I have no need for. Studying the physiology of semiotics will help me to understand how important persuasion is in design and why as a designer I must know this. I will collect research from many sources. I have worked as a freelance graphic designer for a year. During so I have built up a list of associates, which include professionals within the industry. I shall not only rely upon their knowledge but also use it to aid me through my questions. I will also seek other designers that specialize in semiotics for their opinions on the related subject. Contacting people within these industries will be a strong advantage in gaining research rather than just relying on internet search engines. I will visit a few libraries around London and use their resources to find the right books. Others I may not find can purchase from Amazon if necessary to my research. The way graphic designers persuade people is an area that I have a great deal of interest in, though the science behind a coding advertisement will require significant research. Talking to professional designers will give me an understanding of one side, though the physiology explanations will call for a lot more searching and time. I have been studying graphic design for a few years and I understand, especially in advertising, that a designer must persuade the target market to want the product. Since my early interest in design, I have stumbled across many ad campaigns that have appealed to me and pushed me to buy a product I normally wouldn't. I have since seen videos and documentaries on semiotics and persuasion in advertising, both good and bad, mainly used as a tool of persuasion. The conscious mind can be persuaded by many different aspects, including colors and shapes. The subconscious mind can be persuaded by hidden imagery and repetition. Both of these link with each other in many ways. During my research, I hope to discover persuasive tactics that may be beneficial for my future work. The structure for my dissertation will be based around the ad club illusion for the brand Club 18-30, also my compilation of research content collected from books and professionals. Once I have gathered all of my research, I will then create a structure, which will be organized by relevance to my question. My dissertation and research must have a beginning, middle and end. I will make sure I follow through on relevant material. I may split each question into sections, if not they may be answered all throughout my dissertation. My sources will be from various books, internet websites and professional designers. These will be my core sources of information. The professional designers will give me first-hand information. This is a great thing, as information will not have been filtered or changed in any way as internet information has often been.
I will record each interview so that I have a complete account of their responses and will be able to extract all key points for my research. I understand the importance of bibliographical reference and acknowledgements. I want to make sure the reader can completely connect with the writing, so I will have detailed interpretation of the interviewees. I will use my blog as an online journal that will be updated frequently, so anyone interested can keep up to date on my development. The blog will be important for me when I contact any professional. They may wish to view the information I have gathered before responding to me. I will share links to research, imagery and other media of significance. How do graphic designers persuade people? An existing theorist whose work is closely related to my topic is Johannes Itten. He developed the current form of color theory. Johannes Itten modified the color wheel by developing color codes. Many written theories can be found in his book, The Art of Color, focused around color composition and the relationships of color. The theory of color interlinks with color meaning and semiotics, as color evokes feeling and emotion. Graphic designers use color physiology as a persuasive tool to seduce consumers. In 1976, Hugh Rank of Persuasion Analysis created a theory called Rank's schema. Within this theory, he outlined two basic and opposite patterns of persuasion: intensify and downplay. His argument was that these patterns are common to many persuasive situations. Intensification is when the persuade seeks to increase the significance of certain elements for the viewer to take more seriously or see as important. Repetition, association, and composition can achieve intensifying. The opposite to intensification is downplaying. This can be done using the same techniques reversed. Downplaying may be done by diversion, omission, and confusion. These methods can be seen in so many advertisements and have been used worldwide to persuade people. By researching such techniques, it will help me decode advertisements, in return being able to break them down to their core elements. My central research question is how graphic designers persuade consumers to buy into things. I will be looking at Saatchi and Saatchi's ad campaign for Club 18 to 30. By doing so, I will gain insight on how persuasion plays a major role and how each element within the ad can achieve this. In addition to this, I will gain more information and techniques in the art of persuasion and semiotics. Researches I have looked into include Decoding Advertisements by Judith Williamson. This helped me develop more of an understanding for the depth of semiotics.
Advertising sets up certain types of consumers and certain products, and having made these links and created symbols of exchange, it can use them as given, and so can we. I also found an interesting book called The Art of Color by Johannesson. This looked into color meaning and helped me understand how it can be used to alter moods and evoke emotions. I also found articles online about Hurenka's persuasion techniques and how they are used in advertising worldwide. A site which I found interesting was Marketing Beyond Advertising. This website really helped me understand how advertisement can be decoded down to its core elements. I found a book called Persuasion in Advertising by John O'Shaughnessy and Nicholas Jackson O'Shaughnessy. This book was one of the most useful